It's 2026. The economy is rough. Everything is expensive as heck, and salaries have not increased to equal inflation. So we all need to be living a bit more frugally, which also goes hand in hand with living sustainably or living planet friendly. And I'm gonna tell you how. Living frugally has been getting a little bit of a bad reputation online, and I think that's due to one creator in particular, who shall not be named. But they make content about saving all of their money, literally every single penny. And they also post what I think are rage bait cleaning videos of their apartment, which looks like it has not actually been cleaned in years. So this is just your reminder that living frugally does not equal living dirty. But anyways, we're gonna talk about how we can live more frugally this year. Oh, you see the squirrel, buddy? Do you see the squirrel? We're gonna lightly touch on one of the big ways because I feel like I talk about this all the time and don't necessarily need to talk about it in depth each time, but I will link a video. I feel like I talk about it all the time, but switching to reusables instead of disposables. There are hundreds of sustainable, eco-friendly swaps out there. Some of them cost very little, some of them cost a lot, but a lot of them you probably already have or have something at home that you could use to make it. For example, you just finished your store-bought cleaner. Instead of buying another bottle, see if you have some vinegar in your pantry, add it with a little bit of water and some orange peels or essential oils, and boom, you've got an all-purpose cleaner. I also swear by unpaper towels, but you don't have to buy unpaper towels. You could use rags that you have, you could cut up old towels, old t-shirts, they'll work. So yes, you can spend a lot of money, which is not really the point of this video. We want to live frugally. You can spend a lot of money on sustainable swaps, but you don't have to. Buy nothing groups are also a really great resource if you're looking for something in particular like old towels or sheets and you don't have them. I've done that on Buy Nothing group several times. So if you have any questions about this in particular, drop them below in the comments and then I'll get to them. Okay, next way to live frugally. One thing that I learned to do late last year and the beginning of this year is to cut my hair and cut my husband's hair. I hate going to salons because my hair never turns out how I want it to, and then I spend $300 or $400 on it and it just feels like a waste of money to me. I stopped dyeing a little bit after our wedding. I was getting my hair pretty regularly cut and dyed and then dyed purple. Not the whole head, just like streaks. I was doing that pretty regularly and then I was kind of upset about it because my wedding hair turned out pink and I wanted a dark purple. It is what it is, but that really just like turned me off to salons 100%. I've been growing out the bleached parts and then I cut most of it off. So I decided now is as good a time of any to learn how to cut my own hair, and I filmed it for you the first time I did it. It is in the old house. Okay, I have watched exactly 2 videos on how to cut my own hair, so I think that means I'm a pro, right? It's just a line from the towel. This is where my hair naturally parted, so that's what we're gonna do. I do not feel qualified to do this anymore. I look so silly. Whoa, that's really tight. Okay. Let's put in one more. Okay, so now I basically just cut off this, which is very uneven. I don't know how that happened. I got this hair cutting set. I'm putting a different hair tie. I feel like that one's way too thick. Oh, I'm a little scared. So I've got my ends. It looks like I probably still have one more trim until I get rid of all of the dyed hair. No going back now. That's all I cut off. Like 4 inches, but mostly 3 everywhere else. Okay, that does not look cut straight. Okay, that looks a bit better. So now I don't want it to look like I have a straight across cut. So I'm gonna go like this, spread out my little hair. And I got these like thinning shears. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if I need to run to Supercuts. That actually looks pretty good. I'm actually fairly impressed. All right, let's check from the back. Make sure my middle part is out. You're gonna have to tell me if it looks good. Okay, success. I think that looks really good. I don't want like a straight across cut. I wanted it kind of like angled slightly. And that is what I got. And my dead ends are mostly taken care of. Okay. I'm so happy with it. Yeah, it looks great. I successfully learned how to trim my own hair. Look at that. I'll save a lot of money now. That's so exciting. All right, let's let this dry a little bit. And then we'll come back to do more of the dead ends. Okay, so there's supposedly like a technique where you go like this and then scale your way down the hair, uncut the split ends, and just give like all of your ends that have broken higher a trim. Okay, I definitely think there's a difference. I still have a lot of them, and I think this is gonna take a little while to get better. I wish I had better bathroom lighting for filming. That won't be a problem at the next house. The bathroom lighting at the next house is really good. That looks a lot better, I think. I am super happy with how easy this is. Oh yeah, that looks really good. My hair feels lighter, as it always does after I get some inches off. I still have definitely at least another couple of inches of previously bleached and dyed hair that needs to come off, but I don't want to cut my hair too short. I like when my hair is longer. So this is good for now. It's almost time to do it again. It's been more than 6 weeks since I did that video. So it's almost ready to do it again. But I don't do anything fancy. I don't do layers. I don't do any special haircut. My hair is pin straight when it's wet. So it was really easy to cut. If you have any other type of hair, I bet there's a tutorial on YouTube for how to cut your specific hair. My husband's hair is really easy to cut. He does a very basic cut. I just use like the clippers, fade it up, and then I use scissors. I wet the top of his hair and then I cut it with scissors. Super easy. Maybe one day he'll want a more fancy haircut, but this works for now. Bought an actual hair cutting set. It was like $30, I want to say, but we've already made that cost back based on one haircut from mine and one haircut from my husband. So worth it.
Oh, let's get a little pep break.
Another frugal thing that you can do is teach yourself how to sew. I knew how to hand sew, not well, but functional. And I ended up getting a sewing machine last year and I use it all the time. Quilting, of course, and it's not super frugal buying quilting cotton, but I do buy a lot of secondhand fabric and I do quite a few upcycling projects. I use my machine to repair clothing. I'm currently using it to shorten the curtains in our home. It really is a skill that I wish that I had learned sooner, but I guess better late than never. Also, quilting is a lot of fun. I am now at my era of feeding the birds and the squirrels and sitting in my rocking chair in the morning, drinking coffee and watching all the animals in my Wild Kingdom backyard. So I'm just entering my granny era and that's okay. Something that's also frugal living that's pretty self-explanatory and you might not need a reminder, but I'm sure a lot of people who struggle with overconsumption do. Use what you have. I started Project Pan in late 2024 and I have already saved hundreds of dollars on things like makeup and skincare and personal care products because I took inventory, I organized what I had, made it easy to access, and I actually use it instead of just buying more. I don't buy anything until I'm almost out of what I have. I have also done several Project Pan videos. I'll link one of them here. Project Pan is something that I feel strongly that everybody should do. If you're the person that survives with only one backup of an item, I love that for you and I hope that that is how I am one day, but that is not how I am so far. If you overconsume regularly and have overflowing storage closets, Project Pan is for you. Lastly, this is something super small but super impactful that we found. I started paying attention to this and trying to do it when the war in Iran started and gas went up an entire dollar in like 2 days. I stack errands to save gas. I'm now putting all of my errands, at least I'm trying to, on one day of the week when I'm already having to go out. And I'm going to whichever locations of somewhere are closest to each other, which is not something I was doing previously. I would drive this way because I like this store better. I'd go to this Wegmans because that's my favorite Wegmans, even if it was 20 minutes away from the post office. So I'll go to that post office to drop off packages because I like that one more. No. Now I take a minute or two and I plan my routes and I go to whichever locations are closest to each other. It's something so simple, but I have noticed that it saves a little bit of gas. And in this economy, a little bit goes a long way. Now, none of this is about being perfect or cutting out joy. It's about being a bit more mindful. Use what you have, learn new skills, slow down a little bit. It all adds up. Frugal living does not mean dirty, and it definitely doesn't mean miserable. It just means being a little bit more thoughtful with your time, your money, and your resources. And honestly, that's something a lot of us need right now. I hope this was helpful. I know a lot of us are going through it right now with the economy and the state of our world, but we will get through this together. If you have any frugal tips that I didn't add, feel free to drop them in the comments and we can all learn from each other and get through this together. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Happy frugal living or living planet friendly, and I'll see you next time.